Hello, hello. What's up? What's up? And here I am again watching some videos. And today I'm going to watch some more. So stay tuned. And yeah, I should change the jam a little bit on the more chill one and less noisy. Yeah, like that. I think YouTube library shouldn't make me any issue about the copyrights, so yeah. All right, let's go. Let's go, let's freaking go, let's freaking go.
Safe home? No. Not safe? No, sorry.
Wait, something is wrong in my flat. I think I fixed it. Okay. YouTuber goes crazy to one of the most dangerous cities in Syria. What happens next is scary. One of the most dangerous cities in Syria. They have a new government right now, right? And does it government doing better than previous? I don't know, actually. I didn't dig deeper to this question, but let's see.
Oh, okay. Even in Damascus or outside Damascus? Not safe. All country.
All country.
Okay.
No safe.
Thank you for keeping us safe, brother.
Keeping us safe? He doesn't look like he's keeping anyone safe. He looks like he's a part of the problem. Hi guys, doing this is Sahar TV, and in today's video we'll see a traveler going to Syria to see if it's actually as safe as they claim. Let's take a look.
Be Syria. Welcome to Syria, guys. We made it through. Had a few small
this guy
issues
American,
at
actually?
the border. Nothing to do with the visa, actually. They were more worried about the stamps in the passport. I think they thought I was a spy.
I'm
'Cause I have a lot
doubting,
of stamps
but
from weird
mostly
countries.
American.
For some reason, Nigeria always gives me issues. Wherever I go, Nigeria stamp, even though I have Afghanistan, I have Somalia, but Nigeria is weirdly an issue. Anyway, I also had to show them two passports because my exit stamp was in Lebanon, was in one passport, and Syria, I have a second passport for all the stamps that America does not like.
Just so you know, if you're wondering about traveling to Israel and you're scared that your passport is not going to get cleared if you go to an Islamic state like Syria or other countries that don't allow Israeli citizens to come, or even if you have a stamp, in Israel you get a card that is printed out instead of actually stamping your signature, so you can actually enter any country with no issues. There's no trace you were ever in Israel.
Just walking around, you really get a feel for the place, and you see how much the sanctions, the war, the constant conflict that they've been in for the last decade or two, and especially the sanctions has had a real effect on Syria, and now they're really trying
and
to push
war,
to
especially.
remove those sanctions since this new government
Hope it's
is
recovering
trying to make reforms,
now.
but obviously this is going to take a lot of time, but it's still extremely unstable in the region, in the area. People are still, I feel like, I haven't spoken to too many Syrians about it, but the overall sentiment feels like people are still wary but hopeful. But hope is a dangerous thing. there's worries that when this first happened, when the rebels took over and they ousted the leader, there was worries that Syria was just going to become another Libya, another Iraq, where the dictator fell and the country fell into an even worse economic situation. But we'll see. Currently, Syria is receiving billions and billions of dollars from EU and other countries.
Yeah, actually, Syrian's new government is widely recognized right now, and I don't think that it will be too much of an issue to the new government to make the new better society. But yeah, in the Middle East is quite uncertain pretty much everything, so it's hard to say. But I've heard Syria before, even before the tensions, was quite of a nice place. So yeah, let's see what the government with new government will do.
Like United Kingdom, my country. However, it's
United
estimated,
Kingdom, okay.
I think online, that they need over 300 billion to recover from this financial turmoil that they're in. But like in many countries I go to, life goes on, the people survive. You see poverty, you see beggars, like every other country, but the people live with what they have, and you adapt to your situation. This is what I noticed in every country where there's poverty. People adapt, and the people you meet here are no sadder or happier than the people you meet in England. In fact, I would go as far as to say that the people could be definitely happier here. Looks good. A day do you earn one day?
One day.
You?
150, 250, 300.
Pounds.
Yeah, Syria.
Okay.
Syria. Catch.
There we go. Wow.
Right? Good?
Very good.
I think the mood overall is really varies from the not only just economical state, but from the weather mostly. Like you can just compare the news from Germany and from Greece, how I saw the video before, like in the Greece and all the other southern countries, the news was even the news report was really energetic, and in the Germany it wasn't that energetic. So there are many factors of how and why people are feeling more happy and less happy, but the happiness isn't the most stable construct.
Fresh, new. I want you to share for your family and also your friend. You give a little bit, but you give the friend shui shui to him, okay? And for your family.
So,
Baby.
yes. Come in, E100, come and give money, baby, yes.
I just gave.
I know you, no, in idea.
Habibi, I gave you.
100.
لا 100.
50.
لا 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 لا.
Syria.
لا خلاص خلاص. يعطيك العافية.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Please likes.
شكرا شكرا. يعطيك العافية.
So he just gave him $100, which is a lot of money in Syria. And the guy,
Yeah, holy shit, $100 in Syria. That's a huge money, even in the Eastern Europe. Man, what a tip.
I requested 100 more. Just say thank you, and that's it. I hate this type of behavior.
Yeah, he begged for more, as I saw as well.
Bro, gave him $100. Bro wants another 100. Habibi. لا شكرا. شكرا شكرا.
That's it. The moment they saw that he was giving 100 one time, everybody's gonna be on his ass. Everybody.
شكرا. لا خلاص خلاص.
Okay, no money.
Habibi.
Okay, no money. Just give my son
That's why I'm not going to the Russian market, because the people from the southern republics are really annoyingly offering their products. They are just not going off you if you even show the remote interests of the products that they can offer you.
Yalla yalla. That's where they got me. When they asked for food, I'm like, okay, fine.
Where are you from?
أنا من بريطانيا.
Welcome to you.
شكرا. من هون؟
Yes.
Nice.
From here.
That's it, brother. You'll be used from now on by all the people that saw you giving money. That's it. It's a done deal.
شرفنا. Nice to meet you, brother. Hello. في أسبق اثنين شاورما. That's my bad Arabic. Mine ما في pickle. No pickle for me.
Your money, gift.
Yeah. I got it.
There is many gift
Okay.
here.
Okay. Shukran. Thank you, brother. Nice to meet you, brother. You are police?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
nice.
police.
Okay.
What's your age?
My age is 21.
21.
Really young.
Oh, wow, nice.
Police
Good
officer.
job. Your English is tamam. Very good English.
Alhamdulillah.
Safe home?
No,
Not safe.
no, sorry.
Oh, okay. Even in Damascus or outside Damascus? Not safe. All countries.
Whole Syria is not
Okay,
safe.
okay.
No safe.
I get
Thank
it.
you for keeping us safe, brother.
At least he's out loud
Keeping
about
us
it.
safe. He doesn't look like he's keeping anyone safe. He looks like he's a part of the problem.
That's not super reassuring, but I guess you get different perspectives from different people. It's okay. I just get you a shawarma. He wants to give me that in return. So you get your ticket. I don't know if we give that to anyone. But we're waiting.
He's not going off, this guy. He's just like a tail, always with this English money bag.
I'm gonna get our man here another shawarma. I'm not sure if he's trying to sell me this, but anyway, he gave it me. I think it's because I gave him free lunch, but we'll see if he wants more money for it. But this is the new Syria flag, and yeah, this is I like the new Syria flag. I prefer the new Syria flag, but they don't have the emoji yet. I don't know if anyone's noticed. They don't have the emoji. I wonder when they'll get the emoji. And also, I'm wondering like the football shirts. I want to get a football shirt, but I'm guessing that they're not going to have the new flag on that. So.
Something you need to understand. The new Syria is controlled by an Al-Qaeda and ISIS terrorist, Al-Julani. If you're thinking that Syria is going to be better for the people living there, only time will tell. So far what we're seeing is a disgusting massacre against the Druze community in Syria, including shaving the elders, shaving their beards, killing them down the street, killing them in their homes. Absolutely disgusting.
I didn't know about
And
this
that is
actually.
the reason. That is the reason why I have a problem with Islamic rule, because Islamic rule does not respect the minorities. They don't respect the Druze, they don't respect the Kurds, they don't respect the Christians. If Jews were there, they would not have respected the Jews. And that's why it's incredibly difficult to believe that this new leadership is going to do any good to the people of Syria. It's been a few months since the leadership has changed, and we're already seeing people dying because of this rule, because of this regime. I'll attach the full video of this YouTuber in the description below so you can watch the full video. It seems like he's walking around talking to people, but it's not actually showing the places that have been hit, which is what I wanted to show you guys. He's a good vlogger, reminds me of Saluki, kind of. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to help me
Okay,
find
I got it. So let's see how the situation will be resolved in Syria. The Jewish guy, if he's spelling the truth, I'm quite sad right now. But yeah, it is what it is.
The story of what happened.
They banned foreigners, then this happened, let's see.
The story of what happened to a swimming pool in Switzerland that banned foreigners could be a microcosm for Europe. The pool in Porrentruy began encountering a hefty dose of cultural enrichment. When mobs of migration background youths from across the border in the French town of Belfort began causing chaos and ruining the experience for everyone else, harassing and whistling at women and girls, sexually assaulting them, physically assaulting people who complained, stealing from people, and generally behaving in a loud, annoying, unsafe and idiotic manner. The problems were so persistent. Police were turning up to the pool 2 to 3 times an hour. Lionel Matre, the municipal councillor for tourism and leisure in Porrentruy, said that
they just allowed allow the minorities to go to the pool, really? Is that an issue? What the fuck?
Become increasingly noticeable that the perpetrators had Arabic names. The story sparked international interest and eventually led to the swimming pool banning all foreigners from being able to use the facilities. Specifically, only foreigners with a work permit in Switzerland or guests at the nearby hotel were allowed to use the pool. The result of the ban? Peace and tranquility has been restored. There's been a surge in season ticket sales of locals rushing back to use the pool. There's no need for a constant security presence. They haven't needed to call the police once since the ban. According to one of the lifeguards,
well, that's why mixing people like these wildly is not the best idea, because if you're mixing them, you're replacing one population with another, and the population who came to the original country in Europe, for example, not always acting peacefully.
It's much quieter now.
Say.
And according to one 17-year-old Swiss student, it's better this way. Sometimes we Swiss couldn't get in at all. Now it's quieter. You can swim and there are no more thefts. It couldn't go on like this, that we Swiss couldn't go into our own swimming pool anymore. So they de-diversified the swimming pool and suddenly everything miraculously improved, with similar chaos unfolding at swimming pools across Europe, particularly Germany, since the start of the summer. I wonder if there's a lesson here to be learned, one focused around the word remigration.
Okay, got it. Remigration. Well, the Europe is pretty much replacing its own population with the people from the Middle East and Africa. That's their choice. I mean, not all Europe, of course, but the Western Europe pretty much.
Almost a year after mass civil unrest.
England boils over. Let's see.
Almost a year after mass civil unrest swept England, the riots are back.
Here we go. Here we go.
At least in the town of Epping, where what started as a peaceful protest turned violent when masked Antifa outsiders and police escalated the situation, culminating in this outrage.
Antifa is creating another chaos.
Female driver. The guy's okay, by the way, but it's pretty hard to accuse the demonstrators of escalating violence when you're literally running them over. Oh, they'll kneel to violent BLM rioters. They'll mollycoddle Just Stop Oil agitators, give them tea and biscuits. They'll dance with Extinction Rebellion. They'll literally tell Islamist rioters to hide their weapons in the mosque.
If there's any weapons or anything like that, what I would do is discard them in the mosque.
White native working class English people, pedal to the metal.
This man's just been run over. Another guy took up in the air.
Imagine if the police were mowing down any of those other groups. National hysteria, wall-to-wall condemnation. It happens in Essex and it's barely a news story.
Fucking hell.
What fueled the protests in the first place? 38-year-old Hadush Gerbeslassie Kabutu, a refugee from Ethiopia who was staying in the Bell Hotel in Epping, a migrant hotel, made sexual advances towards two teenage girls. He's alleged to have put his hand on the child's leg, asked for her for a kiss, and suggested they make Jamaican babies. He allegedly committed these acts just 8 days after arriving on a boat as an illegal immigrant. Barely a week
After arriving from the boat of the illegal immigrants. Then, I mean, the England is pretty much overpopulated by the illegal immigrants right now. I don't even know how will they solve this problem. It's just too much of a problem right now for in England, in current state.
In the country, and he's already noncing on kids, allegedly. Predating on teenage girls. Yeah, I'm sure that'll help your asylum claim, mate.
7,000 homeless veterans sleeping on the streets, yet people who have contributed absolutely sweet fuck all to our society get put up in 4- and 5-star hotels up and down the country. What would be the reason for having 99.9% males in hotels up and down the country from third world countries where their cultures are completely alien to ours?
Eyewitnesses said the police will...
Because that is the policies of the changing the local population with the population which is really alien to the first culture to which the people actually came to, and yeah, they basically trying to repress the locals to the point that they are no longer having any threats to the government, and the government can do anything they want. Less rights, less possibilities for the middle class, and more possibilities for the ruling class to exploit the people by repressions. That's how it works, I think.
More concerned about politely chaperoning the Antifa scumbags.
So many left-wing activists met at Epping Station and all come up here to cause trouble.
Yeah, look, this is what's happened, yeah? You've let them come up from Epping Station when you had them kettled. Look at them all. Fucking load of Cambalos, mate. But the old Bill let them come up the station to let this shit come up here. We're here.
Refugee, welcome. Yeah, I get it. They want more graves, more violence on the streets, more unsafe communities. Yeah.
Ensuring they got closer
They're
to the
asking
main
for it,
protest,
and they getting
therefore
it.
inflaming the tensions. Imagine showing up to a protest about the sexual assault of children and then opposing the people angry at kids being sexually assaulted.
And you're standing to protest against it. And yet what? What are you there for? Against what? We're here against the sexual assault.
Proving the leftist mob weren't even locals, they were outside agitators. They later got bussed out of the area by the police.
If these are locals, why are they getting in a police car? Why are they getting in police cars? Why don't they just go home if they're local? Fucking idiot. These people just talk so much shit, it's unreal. Buses. They're calling them buses. They're calling them buses. Wait, can you get me a bus back to my car, please?
There are so many AI tools out there that buying all of them would be super expensive and downright confusing. Well, now you don't have to. Simply visit chatllm.abacus.ai. This isn't just about text. You can generate images and videos with so many different models. And code LLM that comes as part complete. Feel way more affordable than paying for the link in the description box down below to try it now.
Why, and all due respect to the police, why are you allowing agitators to come and fight against us?
I mean, in terms of the freedom of just any movements, any speech, then if you are allowing all freedom, then you should allow this too. But in the England, they are not allowing one kind of freedom against the illegal migration, against even for the cyberbullying. They have the prosecution sentences. That's crazy. And actually, but if some freedoms are already suppressed, is not all the freedoms are actually allowed, how it is in US, actually established by the amendment rights. So then they just should think about what their local community will benefit from, and shut down this kind of meeting, probably, if they want to live in the better state like this woman do. But yeah, the government, English government, has another plans in this aspect. They want to repress and not making the local population live better, but suck money from them, basically, and making them peasants.
You are inciting violence. We're not. You are. Mr. Starmer, I hope you're going to hear, I hope you hear this. Why are you letting 500-600 undocumented men come across the channel every day into this country? We don't know who they are, we don't know what their background is, but they don't share our values, they don't respect women, and they do not respect children. Yes! Yes!
Your own grandchildren are going to live in a destitute place because you made it happen. You should be with us.
They're in the opposite side.
The reaction to the unrest.
They created basically all of it, and the regular British population mostly tolerated, but not all of them, of course. But they are more closer and closer to the actual authoritarian state.
Followed the same old playbook. They're trying to generate more outrage towards the protesters than the actual alleged pedo. Absolutely terrifying scenes in Epping. This is the consequence of such hateful and politically charged rhetoric against refugees. Nah, it's the consequence of a 38-year-old man imported by the government touching kids. It's a consequence of scenes like this which are becoming commonplace in English playgrounds.
Cheers, buddy. All right. Is any of your kids up here, or? Sorry? Do you have your children up here? No? No? What are you up to?
Just enjoying, that's it.
Enjoying it?
Yeah.
Do you live around here, or?
No, nothing.
No? Any reason why you come here at this time today, or?
This clip even documenting his strange behavior on the camera. Well, that's making easier to the people to, find who this guy is and say thank you,
No, nothing.
No? Any reason why you come here at this time today, or?
The 2015 bedroom feminist apologists were out in full force.
You'd think, okay, people are protesting in support of women, speaking up against rape and sexual assault, and speaking about violence against women. Finally, the right have realised how big of an issue this is. But surprise, surprise, they haven't. This was just another excuse to push anti-immigration and racist views.
What terrifies me is if an illegal immigrant were to try to rape a child. Imagine the backlash against peaceful illegal immigrants. We've lived directly opposite the Bell Hotel for 5 years and have no problem with the usage. I've met many residents and they're always very friendly. I feel very safe around the hotel with my young kids. My kids haven't been sexually assaulted, so what's the problem? Local councillors want the migrant hotel shut down.
Absolutely. We've opposed this hotel being used from day one. It's just an inappropriate location, very close to the heart of the town. It's a small community. It's not a big community. We're just around the corner from a school. So the location's just completely inappropriate for this type of usage.
That migrant hotel in Rotherham that got smashed up is now closed, by the way, illustrating how when you remove democratic levers of control from people, they'll lash out in other ways. The government must know this, yet they keep pouring gasoline on the flames. Most recently by secretly importing tens of thousands of Afghans because someone sent an email to the wrong person, ensuring many more incidents like what happened in Epping because they're overrepresented in...
Wait. That's the immigration rate of the UK currently. 24,000 Afghans offered asylum in UK after data breach. Super injunction left it on the week that ministers feared would push cost of resulting refugees to £7 billion?
Because someone sent an email to the wrong person, ensuring many more incidents like...
So, well...
what happened in Epping...
Let's see the highest population of the migrants. There are Afghanistan, Eritrea, Namibia, Chad. That will be the New Englanders very soon. Burma, Algeria. Okay.
Overrepresented in
England is
sexual
turning
assaults.
black.
The government are meant to be working for the people, not against the people. These lot here in uniform, police officers, they're meant to be protecting and serving the public, not serving against illegals, against the public. It's simple as that. Labour government, pull your heads out your arses, do your job and protect your own, because this is only going to get worse.
What we've seen is a massive
Well,
culture
it's
clash.
already really worse.
And I think the people of Epping have had enough.
They say a riot is the voice of the unheard. Only when leftists riot, though, when the government airdrops literal nonsense into English towns, who then start predating on people's children, and the people who've consistently opposed mass migration, yet keep having it imposed on them anyway, react with desperation and anger. Oh, they're not the voice of the unheard, they're just right-wing racists.
Yeah, that's shitty. That's really shitty. The replacement is already on the way, and the England and mostly the Western Europe, which is implementing these replacement practices, will not be the same after even 30 years. That will be the totally different countries, and I hope the US will not do the same mistake, because of how the US is operating and how the US is actually diverse in their law and governmental systems. All of these counties, states, and the wide autonomy of these counties and states are really promising, and US is the I think the one and the only country where the white population is actually reproducing itself, and in the way it's just in the right way, in the way to actually create more people and not only just extinct. But of course the low levels of birth of the population is real, and especially that strikes the white population. Yep. Let's watch about something about the
From
YouTube
then, 12
and less politics. When YouTube child starts to see their childhood, let's see.
year-old Piper Raquel being sexualized by her own mom.
Smile, flirt with the camera.
To EvanTube HD's fame leaving him with a fear of being recognized.
If somebody yells, "Oh my god," I literally feel something in my chest.
Here are 8 kid YouTubers who were forced to trade their childhood away, starting with 17-year-old Piper Raquel, whose YouTube career would become the beginning of something much, much worse, which was a sharp contrast to how she started out as a 9-year-old YouTuber, winning hearts with her adorable personality.
Hey guys, it's Piper Raquel, and today we are gonna be getting some.
She's 17 right
As
now.
the years went by, however, Piper's content shifted, and in 2018, she formed a squad of 17 members going viral for their challenge videos. But as revealed in 2020 by one of the members, Clementine, behind the camera hid a completely different reality.
From afar, joining the squad looked like so much fun. I won't go into too much detail because I do respect that Piper's mom has a business she's running, but my mom and I felt pressured and uncomfortable by Piper's team to do some of the things.
Despite this admission, however, Clementine chose to protect Piper and her mother from consequences. Well, that is, until 2022, when 11 of her former squad members finally had enough.
Piper's mom, Tiffany Smith, is under fire by all these former squad members for claims of financial exploitation. They accuse her of exposing them to a physical, emotional, verbal, and sometimes sexually abusive environment.
And these weren't just allegations.
Tiffany would direct us to pose certain ways, hugging a certain way in a clip.
Closer, 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 closer.
She would be like, over and over, sex sells, make it sexy.
But even with all that proof, the lawsuit ended.
Yeah, that's really controversial when such things are happening with minors, when the sexualization is actually the thing in the TikTok, and the wild parents trying to sexualize their own children. That things should be under the investigation, to be honest. That's not how it should work.
In just a $1.85 million settlement with no restrictions placed on Piper's YouTube channel. And as Piper continued posting for her mostly underage audience, her content wasn't just questionable, it was disturbing. But then came something even worse. The Bob House. A content house known for edgy, adult-themed videos which had the internet concerned.
It's this giant home filled with OnlyFans models, aka Bobs, filming content together.
But even as Piper's mom continues letting her underage daughter be sexualized, her story is still not as bad as YouTuber and TikToker Danielle Cohn, whose mom uttered words no parent should ever say.
I allowed you to have an abortion.
But before this, Danielle would first start building her audience on musical.ly.
Well, all of the abortion topic is the big discussion, to be honest. I mean, allowing to do the abortion could be an alright thing from my perspective if there has been some circumstances like SA or some other bad stuff. But I mean, we should just dig into the situation, like what really happened, and I hope that. Yeah, I'm pretty much assuming that it was the minor's pregnancy. So yeah, in this case, the abortion could be an option, to be honest, because just minor's pregnancy, that's really questionable thing.
The app that would eventually become TikTok when she was just 11.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
But her viewers didn't know she was that young. Instead of clearing up the confusion, however, her parents encouraged it, leading Danielle to get sexualized, scrutinized, and silenced. Worse, a disturbing audio from back when Danielle was just 13 years old was leaked.
I allowed you to have an abortion. I allowed so much that I shouldn't have allowed. And it's allowed you to be the person you become and just think it's okay to act the way you can towards me.
This was proof that Danielle had been forced to handle very adult situations without ever getting the chance to just be a kid, with the YouTuber later confirming the pregnancy and the abortion in her own video.
Yes, I did have an abortion in January.
But her next words were heartbreaking.
I was still like coping with it myself, and I was finally like getting to the point where I was like, okay, like I'm okay, like I'm finally over this, like I'm happy again. And then next thing I know, the whole world knows about it.
And this kind of breach of privacy wasn't a one-time incident.
How do they know this? And then
so all of this question about the privacy of the conversation, of the does she need the abortion or not? Okay, yeah, that's another thing. Well, that should be private, obviously. But if it's already public, what you can do?
I would go on YouTube and see a video of like one of my old friends or like a close family friend just leaking a video of me talking about something.
As Danielle reflected on her social media fame, it became clear that her childhood was handed over in exchange for views and sponsorships.
I think I wasn't ready in a way, but I also think I kind of had to be because it was so fast and I was also so young when it happened. It was weird and it was really overwhelming because I went from just being like this girl who went to school every day, and then randomly I started gaining all these followers and kind of was forced to grow up in a way almost.
Even now that she's older, Danielle is still trying to separate who she really is from the version the internet told her to be. In contrast to Danielle, however, who at least has the chance to figure out who she is now, Everly Rose is still stuck in front of the camera. The daughter of YouTubers Savannah and Cole LaBrant, known as the LaBrant fam, Everly Rose became a star before she could even spell her name.
You're so cute. You're so cute. I mean, my dad and my mom.
She danced, smiled, and posed her way into the hearts of fans across the world.
Easy. I mean, she's looking
behind the filter.
She's looking satisfied. I'm not saying that the abuse has happened here, but yeah, anything basically can happen. That's just a facade.
And thumbnails, something felt off, and in 2022, in a shocking turn of events, Cole and Savannah released a video titled "She Got Diagnosed with Cancer." Naturally, fans feared for Everly, but the so-called documentary turned out to be about someone else's cancer, leading viewers to label the whole thing as emotional manipulation at its worst.
Okay, I got it. They basically tricked their audience really badly with that kind of slicky thumbnail and all of that thing. Jesus, that's really wild, to be honest. That's super wild to trick the audience like this and to make the people actually worry about their little girl.
While the LaBrants made excuses for their behavior,
I had convinced myself that our 2-year-old daughter had cancer, and it sounds so blunt and so almost bad to say, but I was convinced.
Things only became more concerning in March 2022 when the LaBrants pulled 9-year-old Everly out of school, claiming this was for the better.
So I feel like her going to school 2 days a week would be super good for her, and then her home 3 days a week would be so nice for all of us. Just like, first of all, seeing her more, spending more time with her, having like more quality time with her in the morning.
But their second reason for keeping her home made their real intentions obvious.
Second of all, she's helpful with the kids, so I feel like having her here would be nice, just with another baby coming too. Like, it's nice having an extra pair.
That's convenient. They don't want to spend the time on spend the money on nanny, and that's how they solve the problem, even though I'm pretty sure that they are quite rich. Not the best decision, to speak it out loud at least.
Hands around the house, even if it's a 9-year-old.
Not only are they exploiting all their kids, but they are forcing their oldest to be some kind of parent to the younger ones. In response to this backlash, the LaBrants tried to clear their stance once again.
She loves being in the videos though. She loves it. But it's just, we want you guys to be aware that she's getting older, so she's not going to be in them as much just because she's a busy kid.
She has a life.
But to many, that was far.
I think they just exploited her enough to the point that she just grew up, and then they are not need her anymore, and in the screen, and they just need her basically free services as a nanny. Jesus. And they basically made the pipeline of the kids and that kind of kid content where they just showing how the kids is doing. And so on and so forth.
Reassuring. Ignoring their own audience demands, however, Everly's parents have continued using her for clicks, with their latest controversy stemming from a father-daughter dance on Diddy's song, I'll Be Missing You. Now, the LeBrant family is no longer posting on YouTube, but even if they stop, 12-year-old Everly has already lost the majority of her childhood. Much like JoJo Siwa, who not only lost her childhood to YouTube, but also her chance to grow up and mature.
I'm a very unique case. The more you get to know me, the more you're like, yo, your brain's being studied.
From her days on Dance Moms to gaining over 12 million subscribers on YouTube, JoJo was the internet's perfect child celebrity.
I can officially say that I've been doing this for half my life, because I started when I was 9.
But underneath her sparkling empire was something else, a childhood sacrificed. She never went to a real school, never had a normal weekend. Her life was content, and the world was always watching.
I never knew what was coming out. I never knew what. I never got
No Russian in comments, please. That's an English chat.
approval over things, and I always got really frustrated as a kid.
Despite being the brand, JoJo's own identity was taken from her.
My childhood was mad inspired by Hannah Montana. Was definitely inspired by Bangers, but then I realized, oh, that's not me.
And in search of who she was, JoJo would jump between identities.
I came out as pansexual, then I came out as lesbian, then I was like, maybe I am pansexual, then maybe I was like, nah, maybe I am a lesbian, then I was like, maybe I'm bisexual, then I was like, you know what? I think I'm just gay.
While acting like the exact opposite of what she said she was. But in the end, her impulsive behavior just feels like someone trying to feel real for the first time.
I'm a very unique case. The more you get to know me, the more you're like, yo, your brain's being studied when you kick the can. And it's something that I don't try to like prove to people that my brain's different.
Since then, JoJo's continued spiraling between who she was and who she's trying to be. Her story showing that fame doesn't just steal your privacy, it also steals your coming of age, which is also what happened to Lil Tay. Lil Tay first blew up in 2018 for flaunting luxury cars, money stacks, and designer outfits despite being just a kid.
I just bought a brand new Lamborghini. Lil Tay out here flexing. Everything Gucci and designer. See my whole outfit?
But what looked like the perfect life was actually entirely staged, as exposed by another YouTuber.
Yeah. She was pressuring her to the point that her sister was doing some forceful shit to basically stand on the camera and doing some stuff which wasn't really authentic to the girl. So yeah, that's pretty much an abuse.
Whoa, Vicky.
It's her brother that runs her account, and it's her brother that tells her what to do, and it's her brother in her ear.
And once Lil Tay's fame got her the wealth she used to fake, her true nightmare began when even her
and the
estranged
sexualization as well. That's not the bad thing.
Father, Christopher Hope, came back for a piece of the pie.
You haven't been in her life for years and now you show up? And now you want to use her career as blackmail to waive your child support expenses? And then you go on to manipulate the press to look like the hero parent.
Nobody asked Tay what she wanted. Instead, she was thrown into custody battles and dragged through family court, which she revealed following a 5-year disappearance.
He started a court case to silence me so I could not speak on what was happening and so he could take control over my
Hey, what's up?
money.
And while she is doing much better now,
Lil Tay's back. It's been 5 years and
Her story is a terrifying reminder of what can go wrong when a childhood is traded for clicks. Much like what happened to Daddy of Five's child stars.
Get out of here, mind your business! Do that!
Run by Mike Martin and his wife Heather, Daddy of Five would post chaotic prank videos involving their 5 children.
Ryan, are you crying?
No, I'm not.
Crying,
I'm doing good. How about you?
But while they called it family fun,
we thought we were channeling our kids' creativity.
What started as pranks soon looked a lot like verbal abuse.
You don't care that you broke the wall. You don't care that mom has her desk all messed up. All you give a damn about is eating some goddamn pizza.
Still, the family kept insisting the pranks were harmless.
It started out as family fun.
Until one now infamous prank video.
I'm gonna squirt it all over his carpet and start flipping out.
Why did you do that?
You ruined the carpet. Get out of here, mind your business. Do that!
Worse, on another occasion, Mike also got physically aggressive.
You wanna play games, Cody? No. Wanna play games?
Oh no.
Let's play games, Cody.
That's actually really violent. I'm from Russia. What about you?
Let's play games. You wanna play games?
No. That's really bad. That's so bad. That's kind of abuse. Shouldn't be a thing.
And naturally, viewers were outraged. These are disgusting ways to treat your children. This
Thanks
makes
for the
me
sub.
sick.
I
As
mean,
public
for
pressure
the
grew,
follow.
investigations began, and then what the audience had been hoping for all along finally happened.
Law enforcement is stepping in. Cody and his 11-year-old sister Emma were both removed from the home and at least temporarily placed with their biological mother, Rose Hall.
Emma and Cody are with me.
After CPS got involved, Mike tried to rebrand the channel as Family of Five.
It was just about making a video and then making the next video more crazier than the next.
They would get excited when they would get a lot of views, and it was more for shock value.
But the damage couldn't be undone. Once Mike and Heather realized that, they pleaded guilty to child neglect, receiving 5 years of probation, and apologizing to their audience for ruining their kids' childhood.
It's not their fault. It's not. We're the parents, and we should have made better decisions.
Since then, Daddy of Five has vanished from the YouTube scene.
No, I'm not streaming daily. I'm streaming usually from 10 to 1 EST. I mean ET. Yeah, from Friday till Monday.
Leaving behind a disturbing legacy of turning trauma into entertainment, much like Ryan Kaji's parents, who seem to be refusing to let their son grow up.
$999,999.
As the face of Ryan's world, by the time Ryan was 4 years old, he was already being escorted by police just to meet his fans. And what started as a toy review channel quickly turned into something much bigger.
You are the first creators to have a product line in Walmart, which has now sold over $1 billion. You're the first creator to have your own Macy's Thanksgiving Day balloon, and you're the first creator to have an Emmy-nominated show, Ryan's Mystery Playdate.
Which all sounds like a dream.
Offer, I mean, I'm not buying any stuff.
Dream come true until you realize what Ryan had to give up. While most kids had weekends off, Ryan had work.
Usually we film on the weekends because that's when I have the most time. Because like other days I have school and then extracurricular activities.
And while his parents claimed to ensure Ryan wasn't overworked, it was clear their first priority wasn't protecting Ryan, but using him to make as much money as possible.
As a teacher, I also know that I'm not getting paid that much.
And as soon as...
Yeah, another child abuse, in order to actually benefit from it. Yeah, the YouTube and stuff, so that's just fucked up.
Ryan's mom quit her teaching job, the channel stopped being playtime and started being a business.
You know, YouTube production, we mainly handle it, and we produce over probably
probably 10, 20 videos each week.
And while their dedication made Ryan's World a bright
20 videos each week. Oh my god, that's so high workload to the young people, to the children.
colorful and fun channel, it had the opposite effect on its actual star.
I think when I was a kid, I had lots of fun doing the videos like with my sisters and with my parents.
Despite YouTube retirement being the best choice, however, that's not what Ryan's parents have chosen for him. Even now that Ryan is 13, he is still stuck making kids videos, leading to predictions like
yeah, he's no longer looking that young on the video. And they also gave birth to the two more children. So they just making the pipeline of the children to make the child content living, basically, which is not the best thing. I mean, morally, but I'm thinking that they are earning quite a much money like this.
I feel like in 20 years we will see a Netflix doc about how his parents robbed him blind, pushed for more and more content, and he becomes an addict and loses everything. But Ryan wouldn't be the only child YouTuber whose toy review content would eventually ruin his childhood. Evan started posting at just 6 years old, filming videos with his dad in 2011, and by age 10 he was making millions. And for a while Evan enjoyed the ride, but as he got
earned millions by the age of 10. I mean, with the production of his parents, but with the huge support of his parents, but still, that's just not the best thing to exploit the people, exploit the children like this. I don't know, was he exploited too much, and did he has that 10 mil after he actually grew up? I don't think that he grew up actually right now, but still, if he will have really big earnings, what he actually deserves at the basically the source of the content of his parents. So that could be a nice resolve of the situation, but yeah, it's just not the best thing to exploit the people. I mean, the children like this. Yeah.
Older, his fame began to follow him in ways he couldn't escape, like what happened on his first day at a new school.
Someone started telling other people there was a YouTuber, and yelling started happening. And everyone was like, EvanTube, YouTuber. Keep in mind, when there's a lot of people crowding around me, a lot of people giving me attention all at once in person, kind of stresses me out. So I remember I literally just ran up to the tippy top of the play structure, and all these other kids that start climbing up it. I slide down the slide to escape these horde of children.
And his fellow students weren't the only ones treating him differently.
My science teacher literally pulled up a video in class of me building the Lego Statue of Liberty, and then she comes up to me, gives me a little slip of paper, has some gaming username like XX, something like that, and my teacher asked me if I can add her neighbor on Fortnite.
The experience left him with anxiety.
Dude, when I tell you, if somebody yells, "Oh my god," I literally feel something in my chest. My heart literally drops.
He became uncomfortable being recognized in public, especially as he moved into his teenage years.
Yeah, I feel like I did get bullied a bit in middle school once I came there.
Unlike Ryan, though, Evan got lucky.
Me going into freshman year really wasn't that bad, though. I think this was a result of COVID, because COVID happened between middle school and high school for me. Kind of gave me a nice, easy transition.
Making the most of this opportunity, Evan began focusing on gaming and vlogs, and eventually he was able to attend high school like a regular kid.
It's really not that bad in high school. People have matured, because people in the past would be like, "Oh my god, you're making toy reviews, that's so cringe." Now that people are older, you can just like respect it, you know?
Today, Evan still uploads occasionally, but now it's on his own terms.
Post on the channel here and there, but I don't want to grow up and be a YouTuber.
His story shows that it's possible to escape the trap of early internet fame, setting an example for other child YouTubers like Ryan's World to follow.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about this. I mean, it's okay, I think, to involve the children in some activities when they're young, like the modeling and the content creation, but that shouldn't be overwhelming for the children to actually be like that, be in this kind of state, and they shouldn't lose their childhood because of their parents told them actually to sacrifice their childhood like this. So yeah. Let's see the next video.
From going viral overnight
The satisfying downfall of the Salt Bae. Let's see.
From going viral overnight to now drifting into irrelevance. From rubbing shoulders with the biggest celebrities every week to now getting kicked out of major sporting events.
Yeah, he has been kicked out from the major sporting events because he basically wanted to steal the biggest point of the Argentina's football team and from the Messi and other football players that they actually earned by the hard labor, by the dedicating their whole lives, their all professional career to the sport, and winning the most prestigious championship. He basically stole this thing and tried to get the clout from it, and that's why he's getting kicked out from the other such types of events. That's just how it is, and his steaks and his foods in the restaurants is really pricey, and the restaurants of the Salt Bae are also shutting down because of the lack of the proper strategy and his own antics.
From bragging about $100,000 dinner bills at his luxury steakhouses to watching his empire crumble right before his eyes, Salt Bae's story is a textbook example of how internet fame can vanish just as fast as it arrives, especially when ego takes the...
Especially if the person is getting popular from the meme, like the Salt Bae or the Haktua girl, from basically one viral video. They made quite much money, but they didn't know what to do with all of these fame and all of these new resources, so they started doing some dumb stuff. But actually Haktua girl fell as fast as she actually became famous.
Spotlight, and everyone sees the attention-hungry narcissist man behind the meme. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be taking a closer look at the downfall of Salt Bae, how he went from humble beginnings to ruling the internet at one point, and then losing it all to arrogance and greed, all while building a business empire that, behind the gold-plated steaks and viral clips, hid a toxic culture of exploiting staff and reckless practices that put lives at risk. Though, before it all came crashing down, Salt Bae Bey's rags to riches story was quite the inspiration. Nusret Göçe started his life in a small Turkish village called Pazli, with limited resources and poor infrastructure. His father also worked as an ordinary mine worker, which unfortunately didn't pay enough to support a family. Due to the family's financial struggles, Nusret had to leave school at the age of 13 and start working as an apprentice at a butcher shop in Istanbul. And while Nusret had to work 13 grueling hours a day every day with
that's so much actually work pressure for the kid. Oh my gosh, 13 hours. Not many adults even can do such long work hours as he did.
Without a single day off, this job marked the beginning of his journey in the food industry, with him going on to work at various steakhouses across Turkey as years went by. Then, in 2007, he secured a $3,400 bank loan to travel across multiple countries and learn more about their meat industries and the steakhouse businesses. After doing this for 3 years, he returned to Turkey in 2010 and opened his very own steakhouse. It was a fairly small restaurant with just 8 tables and a handful of staff. Despite this, Nusret Steakhouse managed to catch the attention of high-end clientele, including the Turkish billionaire Ferit Şahenk, who was so impressed by the quality of food and service that he offered to invest and help Nusret branch out not just in Turkey, but across the Middle East. By the end of 2016, Nusret was already a fairly successful businessman. What he didn't know, however, was that his luck was about to change once again. On January 7th, 2017, he posted a video of himself dressed in a tight white t-shirt and dark sunglasses while slicing meat, and sprinkling salt on it in the most unusual ways. This
and also making the salt is bouncing from his elbow and making it even gross, but yeah, he get the popularity from this kind of salt spilling.
Went viral, racking up millions of views.
But that's
and
gross, to be honest. I would not eat the steak from that kind of salt spilling.
Into internet stardom practically overnight. The moment of him pouring the salt got
17 million views. Oh my god.
Making him even more popular than just the viral clip, with people now referring to him as the quote Salt Bey.
Actually, when it was
the other side
all
of the
started, in which year? I'm curious.
Meme as well. Went viral, racking up
2017.
Millions of views and shooting Nusret into
Quite a long
internet
ago.
stardom practically overnight. The moment of him pouring the salt got turned into a meme as well, making him even more popular than just the viral clip, with people now referring to him as the quote Salt Bey. Lamau, Salt Bey is at the other side of the world and has no idea he's an instant classic with Black Twitter. It's gonna be crazy to tell kids, oh yeah, that's Salt Bey, the way my dad told me about Paul Newman. I dressed up as Salt Bey for Halloween. From parody skits on national television
Shh, it's happening!
to professional athletes celebrating with his signature move on the biggest stages, Salt Bey had quickly become one of the most recognizable faces on the internet. This was a powerful position to be in, and Nusret understood this better than anyone else, because not long after he went viral, Salt Bey announced plans to open luxury restaurants in both New York and London that same month, followed by several more locations worldwide over the upcoming months. Now, the menu in these new restaurants was outrageously expensive, including things like a $100 burger, $10 for a can of Red Bull, $25 for a single dessert, and the star of the show, the $1,800 24-karat gold-coated tomahawk steak. Despite this, Salt Bey's restaurants were a massive hit almost instantly, with people traveling to them from around the world. More than the food itself, people were buying into an exclusive, over-the-top experience just for the chance to see the man himself in person.
Yes, sir.
Week after week, his restaurants attracted the biggest names in sports, music, films, and beyond. Salt Bae had successfully turned a viral
But actually, I think he made way more wise decisions than the Haktua girl, because he actually made the restaurants chain. He stayed relevant till this day, I think, even after the 8 years of his viral moment. He still stayed relevant, so that's quite of an achievement, actually.
Net moment into a multi-million-dollar global brand. But behind all of the gold stakes and celebrity selfies, the reality was far from glamorous. Because as it turned out, when it came to the actual food, Salt Bae's empire was style over substance. His London steakhouse, for example, was ranked among the bottom 33% of restaurants in the city on TripAdvisor, scoring a measly 2.9 stars with over 350 reviews, out of which 167 labeled it as outright terrible, with reviews like
really?
Bad food at crazy prices, all seen and zero substance. The biggest scam ever. Food was undercooked and tasted awful, as well as terrible service, way too expensive for being treated like third-class citizens. To make matters even worse, his burger joint in New York was branded as the worst restaurant in the city, with professional critics describing the food using phrases like a little rubbery and low on flavor, mundane, somewhat tough and rather bland, shoe leather tough, and public ripoff #1. You'd think that after seeing such terrible reception, Nusret would focus on eliminating those issues. However, the Salt Bae did not care one bit. He viewed himself as some sort of icon, saying things like, now everybody
Yeah, the fame struck into his head and he thought he's doing no wrong. Well, that's an regular issue with such celebrities who are getting popularity from the 1 beat or 1 something really fast.
Wants to be a butcher because of me. Now, if you ask a kid, they want to be Salt Bae. They see me as an idol. I'm an inspiration to a lot of people in a very short period of time. It was clear that his instant online fame had inflated.
He overrated himself really much. I mean, that's just online fame, come on. I mean, the online fame gave him really many opportunities, but still... That's not as big recognition he gets. I still didn't really know who he is till the moment, like when he has been controversial.
His ego beyond bounds. The quality of food, the customer experience, it all took a back seat. What mattered most was the performance. He even started bragging openly on social media, sharing receipts of customers spending over $100,000 on a single meal, using them like trophies to show off his status. And it wasn't long before the brand stopped being about food entirely and became all about him. He filled his feed with shirtless videos, struck poses like a runway model, and carried himself like an A-list celebrity. But while the cameras were still rolling and the likes kept coming, behind the scenes, everything was starting to go downhill. The first domino fell in September 2018, when a fire stunt meant to impress diners went horribly wrong.
Oh my god! Ah! I yandı! Oh my god!
I hope nobody
Flames
died
shot
here.
out of control, injuring 4 people, including Czech internet personality Tinus Treknikova. She suffered third-degree burns over 35%.
Okay, that's really terrible.
5% of her body, and
That's
was
really terrible, and that is, I think, should be a really concerning case. That is something goes wrong with his restaurant maintenance.
hospitalized for months, and while she managed to survive, her appearance was altered permanently. The incident made international headlines, yet the Salt Bae made no public statements or apologies, pretending like the incident never even happened. But his silence was just the tip of the iceberg, because while his customers were fighting for their lives, he was busy feeding a dictator. That same month, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife visited Salt Bae's restaurant in Istanbul, where they were treated to a lavish multi-$1,000 meal. And to add insult to injury, this all happened while Venezuela was in the midst of a devastating food crisis, with over 64% of the country's population losing an average of 11 kilograms or over 25 pounds due to food shortages and widespread hunger. Any person with even a shred of empathy might have declined to host a man overseeing that suffering. But not only did Salt Bae welcome him with open arms, he posted multiple videos online bragging about it.
He looks so happy.
As you might imagine, the backlash was immediate and intense, and it wasn't confined to behind the screen. Protests broke out in front of his restaurants in Miami and New York. The issue even resonated with the US Senate, with Senator Marco Rubio stating, "I don't know who this weirdo Salt Bae is, but the guy he is so proud of to host is not the president of Venezuela. He is actually the overweight dictator of a nation where 30% of people only eat once a day, and infants are suffering from malnutrition." He eventually deleted the videos, but true to form, he never offered an apology, because for Salt Bae, the performance always mattered more than the people. But Salt Bae's disregard didn't stop at bad reviews, burning guests, or feeding dictators. Things were even uglier behind the kitchen door. It all came to light in April of 2023, when
the bad employee conditions most likely were this thing too.
Business Insider published an investigation report, uncovering a string of lawsuits and disturbing allegations that revealed an empire built on fear, exploitation, and control. Former staff described Salt Bae as a petty tyrant obsessed with image, power, and excess, with a former manager stating, "His world was nothing but Instagram and fame. The sensation was him. He ended up getting this godlike complex." Employees were fired without warning, sometimes for accidentally breaking a glass or simply wearing the wrong shirt. A bartender in London
Is it
said,
even legal in Turkey or in the countries where his restaurants has been running? I think the labor rights of the employee should be somehow protected by the laws of the governments where these restaurants has been operating. So that's really questionable, actually. How could he fire them like this that quickly?
Working there felt like being in the Hunger Games. Another even compared Salt Bae to being a straight-up dictator. And that wasn't even the worst of it. Workers were forced to stage fake lines outside during slow hours, and even sleep overnight in the restaurant during the COVID-19 pandemic and social unrest, all without getting paid overtime. And while he flaunted his wealth online, employees say he stole tips and punished mistakes by slashing workers' pay. In multiple lawsuits, employees alleged that management skimmed off 3% of tips or withheld them entirely, especially when high-profile celebrities were dining.
3% of tips to the waiters? 3% only from the tips? That's so low. That's incredibly low.
Class action suit even stated that the management systematically fired each waiter who complained about not getting paid tips. One 19-year-old food runner had $140.
It's like nothing. What is 3% even?
Dollars deducted from her pay for delivering a bag of leftover steak to the wrong table. Another had $800 in tips slashed because a customer left without paying, as if she was supposed to hunt down the dine and dashes and collect the bill. But for the women working under Salt Bae, the exploitation went a level deeper, into humiliation, harassment, and outright abuse. A bartender, for instance, was told to wear a quote, short skirt, high heels, and revealing top on her first day. When she protested, she was harassed by male co-workers. One even followed her home, and just days after requesting to wear a standard uniform, she was fired. Another lawsuit claimed that a female server was denied a promotion because Salt Bae allegedly didn't find her physically appealing enough. And if all this wasn't bad enough, the horrendous culture of his restaurants reached the customers as well. Employees were routinely told to lie to customers, claiming cheaper cuts were premium, pouring leftover wine into new glasses, and even falsely labeling steaks as halal. Quote, it was just about trying to get...
Okay, I get it. Jesus, that was one of the huge scammest in the industry, I think, that whole Salt Bae restaurant chain.
Almost as much money out of the people who were coming through the door. But even all this wasn't enough to satisfy the Salt Bae's ego. Eventually, his arrogance and sense of untouchable fame pushed him into doing something extreme in front of the whole world, resulting in the biggest public humiliation of his career. It happened on December 18th, 2022, when Argentina won the FIFA World Cup by beating France in a historic final.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That he just came to the celebration and tried to steal the whole celebration from the Argentinian team. That was so wild.
Celebrating, and players were emotional. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, Salt Bae breached the pitch, crashed the moment, and acted like he belonged there. He grabbed Lionel Messi, one of the biggest athletes in the world, at the most significant moment of his career, just to pester him for a photo. Then he somehow found a way to make this even worse.
How could he even step there? And do they even... Security guards are working to prevent such thing? I'm not sure. Do they even working enough, or maybe he had some really VIP pass?
By grabbing the actual World Cup trophy and posing with it, as if he were part of the winning team. With the entire world watching, these cringeworthy moments sparked a wave of online backlash as massive as the viral fame that once made him, with comments reading, "This is the example of people living without feeling shame at all. TF does this guy have to do with this hard-earned victory? Clout chasing on an epic level. What an idiot that guy is." FIFA eventually launched an investigation into the incident, while also banning him from all future events. A ban that seems to be effective to this day, as he was publicly kicked out of the UEFA Champions League final after party on June 1st, 2025, for trying to enter uninvited. He tried to save face by signing autographs outside, and claimed he wasn't there for the party, but for his quote, thousands of fans who wanted to see him. But the internet didn't buy the excuses one bit. Why is he even there in the first place? He's a nobody and hanger-on.
Yeah, exactly. Why is he in the first place right there? Why was he even allowed there? That's a really big question.
Go and throw your salt somewhere else. That said, this mockery from the internet wasn't as intense as it should have been.
That was the nail in the coffin of his career, I think. That last action of his.
Because people like him now, but because most simply don't care. He's a mostly forgotten relic of the past, and after years of scamming customers with mediocre food, exploiting employees, and humiliating himself on the world stage, Salt Bae is finally paying the price. Most of his US steakhouses have shut down, his London restaurant is seeing a 50% drop in profits, and his Dubai location isn't doing much better either. With businesses in decline, his social media numbers plummeting, and the world turning on him, Salt Bae's story is well and truly over. With some patience, he could have easily ascended to the status of universally beloved figure like Gordon Ramsay. However, he let his ego and greed get in the way, which...
Yeah, Salt Bae couldn't handle the popularity. I mean, he handled it somehow, but not as wise as he could actually. He could have just treated his employees and the customers in his restaurant chain way better, and the drama wouldn't even happen in this type of scenario. The bizarre YouTuber who shot up YouTube HQ. Let's see.
When a bizarre content creator made waves on the internet, it was originally mainly due to her strange videos and her habit of posting random animal gore alongside her main content. Little did anyone know, she would come to hold a grudge against
Animal
YouTube.
gore. Oh my god. What is she even doing? Animal gore in between the content
itself, one that she would take out in the most direct way possible. Many YouTubers like me have come to deal with demonetization in the past, and it's always a real drag. I mean, you put a lot of effort into this video only to be told, hey, yeah, we usually pay you most of the time, but we're not going to pay you this time. It's also completely impossible to get in touch with YouTube directly, so there's really nothing you can do about it. While most people will usually just take the hit and move on, usually trying to find some way to avoid doing the same thing in the future and getting demonetized again, some people out there take it much harder than others. This is the story of a woman named Nasim Najafi Agdam. Nasim's parents had moved out to Iran from the Republic of Azerbaijan. Afterward,
from the Azerbaijan they moved to the Iran. Okay.
Nasim herself was born in April of 1979 in Urmia, Iran. Being of Iranian and Azerbaijani heritage, she, her older brother, her mother, and her father were all members of the Baha'i faith. Baha'i is a religion that teaches that all religions have worth and promotes the unity of all people.
That actually sounds nice.
Iran, it was and still is a particularly persecuted religion. Still though, regardless of that fact...
Yeah, I mean, that's a common sense, I thought. That all the religions should be at least respected at some point.
Nasim was said to have been a pretty happy kid. When she was 7 years old, she stopped eating meat of her own volition, feeling that it conflicted with her love of animals. She became a vegetarian, unlike the rest of her family, and continued to stay that way for her whole life. She felt that vegetarianism and later veganism aligned more with her religion, although the religion doesn't specifically condemn eating meat.
If she would live in the colder environment, I would think that she would get freed from this kind of vegan lifestyle.
Nasim was very critical of the local Muslims and even other Baha'is who ate meat, something that would often rub people the wrong way. This more vocal side of her beliefs would prove to be a core part of her personality, something that never changed throughout the rest of her life. If anything, it only got more intense. Nasim's life would take a dramatic change in 1996 when she was 17 years old. That was when her father got a job offer that would require him to live and work in the United States. Given that the whole persecution thing wasn't all too nice, they decided they would give it a try and start a new life in the new land. Her father, Ismail, accepted the job and the whole family moved out to the United States. Settling in San Diego, they got themselves a pretty nice home, one that many people would envy. Nasim, though, having spent most of her formative years abroad, really struggled to adapt to American life. She never really adapted to the culture, and it seemed that she wasn't really interested in doing so. While she could speak English to an extent, people often found her accent hard to understand. Instead of trying harder to fit in, Nasim took the complete opposite approach. She closed herself inside of her own little bubble and became a loner, mostly hanging out at home by herself. She referred to herself as Persian and mainly spoke Farsi whenever she could, only speaking English when absolutely necessary. Nasim did go to a school in America, but she never really made any close friends, only having a few acquaintances. Even her own neighbors said that they never really saw her outside that often. Nasim...
So she has been a hickey, basically?
Never did get a boyfriend or even a casual relationship in any shape or form. She took more solace in animals, adopting herself a rabbit and a chicken, becoming very close with them over time. It was this disinterest in human relationships and her love for animals that motivated her even further to get into protesting animal abuse.
Well, when she would be, she grew up, she could actually go to the, to her Iran, lovely Irene and live the life she wants. So yeah, that's could probably solve the problem here. From the US, with the US salary, she can support herself if she will. If she will working enough, she can also just easily remove herself from the US, but she will still need to pay taxes to the US. That's the reality of the US passport, unfortunately.
In 2009, Nassim decided to protest at a PETA rally in San Diego. Now 29 years old, she was featured in an article posted by the San Diego Union Tribune that showed her protesting the use of pigs in military training. Wearing a wig and jeans with blood drops painted all over them, she spoke to a journalist, saying, "For me, animal rights equal human rights." Nassim decided to take a further step forward and take her cause more seriously. In around 2011, she decided to get a domain name and start a website. She decided on calling it peacethunder.com. On the page, she mainly posted links and videos that promoted veganism and animal rights in one way or another. However, it was on this website that people would get their first real look at Nassim's very odd personality.
She became even more crazy vegan. Yeah, I see where it is actually going.
She was fairly dishonest on the website, mainly resorting to sensationalism and unfounded claims. She, for one, stated that being an omnivore was the worst mental health disorder in the world. She also made the bold claim that...
Omnivore? I haven't heard about this. I'll check. Omnivore. What? I mean... What? I didn't really understand what he said. Like, the worst mental state that is becoming the omnivore, which basically all humans are. We are eating the as well as the meat and the plants respectively. So what is the problem?
Promoted veganism and animal rights in one way or another. However, it was on this website that people would get their first real look at Nassim's very odd personality. She was fairly dishonest on the website, mainly resorting to sensationalism and unfounded claims. She, for one, stated that being an omnivore was the worst mental health disorder in the world.
Ah, so yeah, that I thought that she claimed by society to be an omnivore, but she actually said that it's a sin and a really bad mental disorder to be an omnivore. Okay, I got it right now.
She also made the bold claim that, quote, Nassim produced and launched the first Persian vegan TV commercial and the first Persian animal rights music video, Do You Dare, through international Iranian satellite television in 2010. And she stated that, you support the biggest global terrorism when you consume animal products. Nassim continued to describe herself as being the most well-known activist within the Turkish and Persian scenes online. The truth is, though, that at this time, very few people knew who she was. Still, though, she was very confident in herself. She referred to herself as the first ever female vegan bodybuilder and began to focus on pushing a vegan diet just as often as she spoke about animal-related activism. Nassim got a few more websites as well, this time making herself the prime focus instead of the cause. She got 2 domain names using her name, NassimABC.com and NassimSabs.com. Both of the websites were mainly a place for her to market herself as a celebrity and push her causes. In 2013, Nassim was about 34 years old. Still living with her family, she was left with no choice but to go with them when they made the choice to move from San Diego out to Manatee, California. Their new neighbor said that the family was very friendly, but admitted that they never really saw Nassim. She was always indoors working on her various projects. When she did leave the house from time to time, she usually stayed inside of their fenced-in backyard, very rarely going out into the world to be seen. It was around this time that Nassim dove deep into her next big endeavor, becoming a YouTuber. Instead of focusing on one channel and trying to build it up, Nassim decided to make several. In fact, she was known to have at least 5 different YouTube channels. She didn't even stick to one genre, posting videos about arts and crafts, exercise, cooking, music videos, and of course animal activism. Even with all of these different genres, she further divided her audience by posting in several different languages as well, mainly English, Farsi, and Turkish.
She has been a polyglot as well.
Still, though, Nassim did start to rake in the views, especially for a time when YouTube was much younger. After all, this was a time before demonetization was really even that much of a fear. It was kind of the Wild West for YouTubers. They could upload pretty much anything they wanted without fear of getting demonetized, as long as they didn't...
So she get mad after the bridge accident of the PewDiePie. I get it right now. What is going on?
Break any real significant rules. Nasim was also doing fairly well on Instagram, getting herself over 54,000 followers.
That's
However,
nice.
her following on there may have been less than genuine. It was rumored that she was using bot accounts to embellish her follower count, with the rumor stemming from the fact that Nasim made a point to brag that her followers weren't bots. She would write, "My Instagram followers, views, likes are real," on her website, which only had the opposite effect and led people to question their legitimacy. Nasim's content and influence among the Iranian social media scene only continued to grow as well. On that side of the internet, she called herself Green Nasim. However, little did Nasim realize that she wasn't the popular, influential celebrity that she thought she was. She was becoming a bit of a lol cow in Iran, with many users mocking her and thinking of her as some sort of a living meme. Nasim was often mocked because her content was, well, very strange. Even on the English side of the internet, her content was either seen as humorous due to how weird it was, or creepy by people who found it off-putting.
Yeah, I can see why.
They're going straight to say,
Oh my god, I can't even hear it. Haram, actually. It's really haram outfits.
Of certain videos she posted, such as one in which she raced her chicken, or just the bizarre, creepy vibe of her videos in general. They have a very similar vibe to the types of videos that Gale made in Breaking Bad. If you know, you know. Sometimes she would do things that people simply didn't understand. She would do things like abruptly fart in her workout videos and inexplicably leave it in for the video, not even bothering to edit out the sound. If anything, it really did seem like her videos were only growing more and more strange over time. It really did seem like her mental health was on the decline as well. Her anti-animal abuse videos grew so intensely graphic that people started to get turned off from watching her channels entirely. Even if they liked her content, and even if they supported her message, this constant exposure to sad, depressing, graphically gory animal-related content made it pretty hard for anyone to view her channel. On her website, Nasim continued to delve into her personal beliefs. Over time, virtually everything became a cause in her mind. She would often write long, rambling rants about the dangers of sex before marriage. She also spoke about the dangers of anal, posting a rant about the subject near the top of the front page on her website.
Okay, she just lost her mind, I get it.
She even began to say that people who were against her activism were following her in real life and trying to shut her down, providing a photo of a nail in her tire as evidence. So many people began to notice her deteriorating mental state that Nasim finally decided to address the people who were continually reaching out to her. She posted a response video in which she said, "I don't have any special mental or physical disease, but I live on a planet filled with disease, disorders, perversion."
I haven't heard actually too much about how the parents actually treating her, and how did they relate to the content what she posted on the social media. I mean, I don't know, did she hide all of these from her parents or not? But I'm pretty sure that would be really hard to hide for her to all of these content posting and the YouTube channel as well from her parents. And I wonder how does her parents actually really reacted on this and on her really strange videos.
And injustices. All things aside, it was likely that Nasim was making a fair amount of money from all of her YouTube channels collectively. At the least, it was likely enough to live off of. On one channel alone, she showed that she would get over 300,000 views a month at times. Factoring in that her other channels were pulling in the views as well, this likely got her at least a couple $1,000s at a time when the cost of living was a fair bit cheaper.
That's far.
Although she lived with her family and didn't necessarily need
far
the money,
more than I
it seems that this
expected.
YouTube success became a core part of how she viewed herself as a person. That's why an event that came soon after would shake her to her core. 2017 brought about an event that most users of YouTube are probably familiar with, the Adpocalypse. This was when PewDiePie posted a video that was deemed by certain members of the public to be anti-Semitic, which led to a bunch of advertisers, such as Pepsi, pulling their ads from the platform. This led to YouTube dramatically rehauling how ads would work on the platform. While it was quite easy to get a video monetized before, the new strict rules that they came to impose would make it much harder to do so. This led to many big channels having their entire backlog of videos becoming demonetized, with YouTube changing the rules right underneath them. The videos that had been okay to post before suddenly weren't okay anymore, leading to a lot of channels having to quit the platform entirely. All of Nassim's channels that were actually pulling in views were hit very hard by the adpocalypse. While Nassim would claim that all of her videos were unjustly demonetized and that they didn't have any inappropriate content, that was actually far from the case. Each of her channels included a large number of videos showing nothing but brutal, gory animal violence. She claimed that at least her other videos were innocent, such as the workout videos. However, even her workout videos were highly sexualized, with some of them featuring titles like Sexy Leopard Butt Workout Nassim Middle Eastern Body, or Nassim Zumba Hot Sexy Workout Dance. Another video that has been lost was titled Want Traffic-Free Sex, although it isn't clear what this video was even about. Nassim felt that YouTube was targeting her content
These transactions. I'm feeling nostalgia right now.
Or Nassim Zumba Hot Sexy Workout Dance. Another video that has been lost was titled Want Traffic-Free Sex, although it isn't clear what this video was even about. Nassim felt that YouTube was targeting her content specifically because they didn't agree with her various causes. She took to her website to complain about the demonetization, explaining that she was being targeted disproportionately higher than other YouTubers. In a video, she explained her problem.
So recently, they also attacked my Persian channel, Nassim Snaps. And if you go and check my videos, you see that my new videos hardly get views, and my old videos that used to get many views stop getting views. So this is because I'm being filtered. And another thing, they age restricted my ab workout video. A video that has nothing bad in it, nothing sensual. Why did it that?
Nothing sexual. I mean, in case of how many ab workout videos are right now, and they are quite sexual, to be honest. But I think that's mostly about her title, because, yeah, her title, how it has been spelled before, had the sexual, basically the word sex in the title, so it's mostly about this, actually.
Because it's got famous and was getting many views.
On her website, she posted several screenshots showing her view counts across her channels, juxtaposition next to the ad revenue she was earning. In a month where she got over 366,000 views, she earned only a mere 10 cents, meaning likely that nearly all of her content had been demonetized. She complained that closed-minded YouTube employees were age-restricting her content as well. She posted text complaining of the situation as well, writing, "Videos of targeted users are filtered and merely relegated, so that people can hardly see their videos. There is no equal growth opportunity on YouTube or on any other video sharing site. Your channel will grow if they want it to."
Yeah, that's because the monetization and all of the YouTube platform and any actually platform is run by some monetizational strategy, and YouTube's monetizational strategy is basically getting some buck from the ads and from the sponsorships. So if the sponsors like the Pepsi will be gone, then the YouTube will be even less profitable. So that's not the best solution for the YouTube to not censor such gory stuff.
In a very strange choice.
But yeah, such creators like she is are quite under pressure.
Chose to quote Adolf Hitler in her quote against YouTube, writing and attributing the quote to him. Make the lie big, make it simple, keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it. Nassim's complaints about demonetization spilled over into her family life as well, with her father saying that she was very clearly angry that the company wasn't paying her. He said that she tried to reach out to YouTube directly several times and that they flat out ignored her, which in all fairness is a problem that all YouTubers still have to this day. With Nassim's online protests gaining no traction, she decided to try another tactic. She physically took to the streets, making herself some signs to hold in protest of YouTube's policies. Saying that the suppression of free speech on YouTube was even worse than it was in Iran, she wrote, "YouTube dictatorship."
What is she even saying? Like, the YouTube, they're just video posting platform, and the whole theocracy which is going on in the Iran, they're not really comparable. I think they're just they're just really different stuff. Completely.
Stupidity, discrimination, and suppression of truth. along with a link to her website.
From the one thing you can just not post any video and do something else than YouTube, or in the other context, yeah. In the other contexts, you just will be totally demolished if you will not even have the hijab on. Yeah, that's
next year in 2018, things were looking even worse for Nassim's channel. The second adpocalypse was hitting hard, all thanks to Logan Paul's infamous Suicide Forest video. Now she was able to monetize even less of her content than before, making her revenue hit lows that she never saw even after the previous incident. After this, her content clearly began to grow more angry and violent. This didn't only apply to her online presence either, as at home she began to fight with her family more and more as well.
You rather adapt or being extinct?
Her father, who was growing tired of her outbursts.
So she didn't adapt, and then she started going crazy, and eventually I think she's not posting the content, I'm pretty sure.
Nassim had had enough. She decided to move back to San Diego to live with her grandma in her apartment. She tried to keep her channels going to the best of her ability, but they just weren't pulling any money in. The last video she would post to YouTube would be of her dancing around in a chicken mask.
ای مرغا پرات روی چشام بیا و مهمونم شو دوستم شو ببین نریز دلم بیا و خوبم کن.
Nassim went out and bought herself a 9mm Smith & Wesson semi-automatic handgun from a gun dealer called The Gun Range in San Diego on January 16, 2018. For a few months, she debated as to what she would do moving forward. She wanted to go back to normal and make her channel work. However, as that continued to seem more and more unlikely to succeed, she began to focus more on the idea of revenge.
What kind of revenge on YouTube? Come on. She just could make the different content and that's it. Do it in the less sexual, less gory kind of way. That's simply a solution. Or just create another channel or do whatever.
Grandmother's home abruptly one day in March. For a while, her family wasn't all too worried. Given that she was 38 years old, about to turn 39, they didn't exactly fear for her safety on her own. But after she cut contact with her family entirely and became unreachable for a few days, they decided to report her missing. Her own father was worried that, given her downward spiral and her hatred of YouTube and its employees, she might be on her way to the company offices with revenge on her mind. On April 1st, the police found Nassim sleeping in her car at a Walmart parking lot at around 1:40 a.m. in Mountain View, California. This was about 30 miles south of San Bruno, where the YouTube headquarters were. She was actually parked only a few miles from the Google headquarters. The police spoke to Nassim and told her that she had been reported missing. She said that she knew, saying that she had left her family willingly. They asked her why she left, with her responding that she simply didn't get along with them, especially with her father. She said she didn't tell anyone where she went on purpose. They asked her if she wanted to hurt herself or anyone else, to which she said no. They asked if she wanted to go back home, and she also said no. They told her that they would contact her father and tell him that she didn't wish to be contacted. She accepted that, but said that she didn't have anything to say to her parents. In total, Nassim was interviewed for about 20 minutes. Ultimately, the officers had no reason to believe anything was wrong with a nearly 40-year-old woman being out on her own, especially...
I mean, yeah, of course. She just can do whatever she wants. She's a 40-year-old woman to this point. And she looks actually really young for the 40-years-old woman on these videos.
When she seemed calm, collected, and coherent. The Mountain View police later said, "At no point during our roughly 20-minute interaction with her did she mention anything about YouTube, if she was upset with them, or that she planned to harm herself or others. Throughout her entire interaction with her, she was calm and cooperative." Shortly after that conversation, the police called Nassim's family and told them that they had found her. The family didn't mention anything about Nassim's mental state or her grudge against YouTube at the time, simply accepting that she was found and that she was okay. About an hour later, though, her father and brother decided to call them back and tell them about her animal cruelty videos. They said that they also told the police about her grudge against YouTube, but it seems they had trouble understanding them through the accents. The police said, at no point did her father or brother mention anything about potential acts of violence or a possibility of Agdam lashing out as a result of her issues with her videos. Once the sun came up, Nassim decided to continue on her journey. She drove the remainder of the 30 miles out to San Bruno, California. She made her way out to a local gun range, where she practiced using her handgun for a while.
Yeah, I see what she's about to do, and I'm really dislike all of that.
And in the fact that she had gotten the hang of it, she was all ready to exact her revenge. That day,
act of revenge on the YouTube and the YouTube stuff.
On foot, she made her way over to the company's parking garages. Going through the garage, she was able to make her way to an outdoor courtyard where the employees tended to eat lunch. At the time, about 1,700 employees were working at the company headquarters. Approaching the dining area, Nasim pulled out her handgun as she walked towards the employees on site. She pulled up her gun and fired her first shot. People immediately flew underneath tables and scrambled for cover. Meanwhile, those inside who heard the gunshot locked their offices and began to call the police. At 12:46 p.m., the police received their first reports of a shooting taking place. Nasim's gun had a capacity of 10 rounds. She had emptied one magazine, reloaded, and fired again. Todd Sherman, a product manager of YouTube at the time, tweeted about his experience with the shooting. He and his colleagues ran towards an exit when someone told them that there was a person on company grounds with a gun.
Yeah, the
he
total
looked down
psycho.
to see some blood splattered across the floor. While looking around to make sure that the shooter
Absolute
wasn't in
psycho.
sight, he made a break for it and headed down the...
Does the YouTube employee actually... did the YouTube employee actually had the guns too to protect themselves? Or I think the YouTube is such a big company even back then should be well protected at least by the security. I think that
stairs to
should
the
be
front
a
entrance
thing
of the building.
as well.
Another worker, senior software engineer Zach Voorhees, said that a fire alarm had been pulled and that workers were calmly evacuating the building until they heard that the issue at hand was an active shooting. This was when they began to panic. They ran past the courtyard. That's where they heard Nasim shouting as she waved her gun around, yelling either "come at me" or "come get me." Zach froze then and there. That's when he noticed a victim lying on his back on the ground. It appeared that he had been shot in the stomach. Another employee named Diana Arnspiger said that she was on the second floor when she looked out the window to see what was happening. She said, "It was a woman and she was firing her gun. I said, 'Shoot her,' and everybody started running. It was terrifying." Nasim shot 2 other women. These women fled despite their gunshot wounds to a Carl's Jr. nearby. Another victim suffered an ankle injury when attempting to flee. Nasim, satisfied with the 3 people she felt she had killed, decided to end her attack right there. She turned the gun around on herself and ended it. The San Bruno police arrived on scene at 12:48 p.m., just a few minutes after the attack began. They described the scene as nothing short of chaotic, with people still fleeing the scene in large numbers. Little did they know, their attacker was already gone. Social media was immediately flooded by various employees and other people who were in the area posting pictures and videos of the scene as it unfolded. Some employees were leaving the scenes with their hands raised in the air. Others were being frisked by the police in an orderly line before they were let go. At the local Carl's Jr., one employee was working to treat one of the victim's gunshot wounds to her leg before the ambulance arrived. He made a makeshift tourniquet with a bungee cord nearby until the authorities arrived. It wasn't too long before the police and ambulances got there, finding the 2 victims in the fast food restaurant. Shortly after, they also came across the male victim with a gunshot wound to the stomach back on the company grounds. Then they came across Nasim herself. The 3 gunshot victims, a 36-year-old man in critical condition, a 32-year-old woman in fair condition, and a 27-year-old woman in stable condition, were treated at nearby hospitals.
So there were no actual victims, and the people were with the different types of trauma, but wasn't killed, really?
Orderly line before they were let go. At the local Carl's Jr., one employee was working to treat one of the victim's gunshot wounds to her leg before the ambulance arrived. He made a makeshift tourniquet with a bungee cord nearby until the authorities arrived. It wasn't too long before the police and ambulances got there, finding the 2 victims in the fast food restaurant. Shortly after, they also came across the male victim with a gunshot wound to the stomach back on the company grounds. Then they came across Nasim herself. The 3 gunshot victims, a 36-year-old man in critical condition, a 32-year-old woman in fair condition, and a 27-year-old woman in stable condition, were treated at nearby hospitals. The 1 further victim who injured her ankle while running was also treated. In the end, all of them made it out alive that day. Nasim had failed to kill any of them. The police continued to survey the scene while they waited to hear back on Nasim's autopsy report. They found 20 ejected shell casings at the scene, meaning that roughly 2 magazines had been emptied. They found that, by the end, there was still 1 unfired round left in the chamber as well. The coroner finally responded on Nasim's condition, saying that they found 0 drugs or alcohol in her system at the time of the attack. Shortly after the attack, Donald Trump, the president at the time, tweeted, "Our thoughts and prayers are with everybody involved. Thank you to our phenomenal law enforcement officers and first responders that are currently on the scene." The CEO of YouTube at the time, Susan Wojcicki, also made a tweet herself, saying, "There are no words to describe how horrible it was to have an active shooter at YouTube today. Our deepest gratitude to law enforcement and first responders for their rapid response. Our hearts go out to all those injured and impacted today. We will come together to heal as a family." The CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai, referred to the attack as both an unimaginable tragedy and a horrific act of violence. Tim Cook and Jeff Bezos, CEOs of Apple and Amazon, offered their condolences as well.
Yeah, of course, as all shootings are. Really terrible act of violence. Really coming from the people with ill mental state, pretty much. Or under
Many
the
others,
influence,
such as the CEOs of Twitter and
or
Uber,
both.
voiced their desire for strict gun control. The Baha'i National Center in the US condemned the attack shortly after the shooting, offering their condolences to the victims as well. Others actually used Nassim as a martyr, blaming the shootings on YouTube and their strict censorship, using the hashtag censorshipkills to voice their frustration. Some employees did return to the main building affected at YouTube HQ the next day, but many of them weren't there for long. Most of them were asked not to speak to the media and only allowed to return to pick up some of their things. Many of them were finally allowed to retrieve their cars and any belongings they had left behind during the shooting. However, work continued as normal in many other buildings in the complex that day. Many employees were seen heading into work as normal, even eating outside in the courtyards, just as they had before. Nassim's father, Ismail, was sworn by the media pretty shortly after the attack took place. He was at a loss for words, only able to say that he was sorry for what had happened. He said, "I apologize. All the US people, all the humans, I apologize. I'm sorry, I can't believe it." Nassim's parents came to speak about the incident a few times on camera.
I mean, in case of what exactly videos she shooted and her mental state on the from the side of her parents, it's actually concerning that they didn't do anything about what is she doing and about how she was mad about the YouTube demonetization as well. I mean, they did rescue her, and actually the police find her as well, but they didn't do anything to prevent the actual shooting, which is not as good, to be honest, because this could be prevented way before if she will be in the mental hospital. If she would be treated somehow, that could be not happen.
Few weeks.
She never hurt one animal, one ant. I don't know how she did like this. You can go to see her movie everywhere. I am apologize, all the US people, all the human. I'm very apologize. I'm sorry. I can't believe it.
Ismail, was your daughter a terrorist?
No.
Was she violent?
No.
Did you know that she had a gun?
No.
Was it
Oh, okay. He didn't know as well. Okay. Oh.
All the while
That
he was
sucks.
speaking, the police were combing through his home for evidence. News crews were actually allowed into the home, even coming into an area of the home with a blue wall at which Nassim filmed a good number of her videos. Very quickly after the attack, some radical feminists took to Twitter to claim that women don't commit violence like this. One activist in the UK named Jennifer James, who worked with the Labour Party, said, "The YouTube shooter was a man. This was male violence. Name the problem. Men can shoot, rape, kill, but we have to respect pronouns? No. So many people are still insisting the shooter was female, despite videos, photos, descriptions from YouTube HQ, witnesses. Why are women forbidden to name male violence? Why are we expected to lie about a killer's sex?" Another user, GenderCritXX, agreed, saying that women are incapable of such violence. She wrote, "They say the shooter is
What the hell? They're just really concerned that that kind of violence has been done by the woman. I mean, I think statistically the most violence by the shooting and for such stuff are done by men statistically, but still you cannot deny the obvious cases.
Female. Women would never do such a thing. You can guarantee they are not actually female and just another TIM, a trans-identified male. Neither of them actually had any evidence to support their claims. They based their entire argument on the fact that Nassim had been a bit muscular at the time due to her bodybuilding. They said that, just because of this, she must have been transgender. They both faced quite a bit of backlash from basically everybody for their claims, from people who were outraged at their comments about trans people, from people who were flabbergasted that they thought women couldn't be violent, and from people who didn't appreciate that they were using the shooting to push politics. Nassim's YouTube channel, along with her various social media accounts, exploded in views almost immediately after her identity was made public. However, this didn't last too long at all, as most, if not all of her pages were taken down within days after the attack took place. However, by this time, many archivists out there doing the Lord's work were able to save a good majority of her content across all of her pages.
But I actually didn't understand. Is she really living right now, or is she imprisoned, or is she unalived by the authorities, or what happened?
These days, Nassim isn't really remembered as a martyr for the cause, if people remember her at all, that is. A lot of people aren't actually even aware that her attack on YouTube headquarters happened in the first place. To those who do remember her, she's mainly seen as a mentally ill YouTuber with a bizarre online presence who was sent over the edge by demonetization. While I'm sure many people can sympathize when it comes to losing money on their hard work, it's safe to say that most people can't understand going to those lengths to combat demonetization. Once again, thank you for watching my video. If you found it interesting, please give it a like, as it really helps me out in the algorithm. And
Okay, that's it for the day.